What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for jumping into another video. My name is Josh and I am just your average Joe day trader. Guys, it is the end of the day. And when I say the end of the day, the market is closed. It shut down about an hour ago. We also have the 24-hour runners that are still going on and either going up or going down. But I'm going to tell you, it was an exhausting market day today. So the S&P 500 today, and guys, you know I love to talk about the S&P 500 because I gauge everything based off pretty much what did the S&P 500 do today? What does it do in the night hours? What does it do in the morning when 4 a.m. hits? You know, I always look at the S&P 500 to understand what potentially the market may do. And I'm going to tell you, it was a challenging day today, really, to even comprehend why the S&P 500 continued to run up. But a lot of the stocks that I trade in as a day trader, retail day trader, were just bleeding red today. It was a little bit unusual. Let me share a little bit about some of the stocks. You guys know that I often share with you what I believe to be the best day trade stocks. I've got the list. Here's the list right here. You can pause this video and take a screenshot of it or write them down. But these are the best day trade stocks right now. I do chart them. I run them over a 30-day period. I look over a 3-month average. You know, I'm looking at all the different ways of how it trends. And then obviously through support and resistance levels, which is key and most important. And then understanding candlestick patterns. I'm looking for the best entry point for myself and understanding, hey, when's the exit point to get out to take profit? And guys, it's not that hard, and this is not financial advice, but you have to sort of learn your craft. You have to master the craft so that you can be the best at it. And it's not about becoming a millionaire, right? Do a lot of people make a ton of money? Absolutely. But I'm in it to make at least $100 per trade, okay, per day. So if I trade 5 different stocks, my goal is to make at least $500. If I trade one stock, I want to make $100. So anyway, that's sort of my goal. My goal is to make at least that $100 per trade per day. And so far, so good. I'm not going to tell you that I always get out of trades in a day. Sometimes I end up swinging a trade. For example, the other day I got into a trade. I don't remember which stock it was, and I had to swing it to the next day. And then the next day, had a bit of a rundown. I had to wait until it sort of recovered back to my entry point, and then I made profit on it. And that happens sometimes, right? No one is perfect. And sometimes the volatility of the market can be your worst enemy. Something that happens in the news, something that happens in social media, something, you never know what it could be. It's potentially going to cause that market to drop, or that trade you're in to reverse on you. The one thing I will tell you, though, that's super important, I'm learning more and more from spending more time speaking with individual other retail day traders, is you have to learn to set your stop loss, okay? I was in a trade the other day, and it was going the wrong direction, and I, on average, set at least a 7% stop loss, okay? So I know that about my regular stocks that I trade daily, there's about a 5%, between 4 and 5% drop down, retest, comeback. When it gets past 5%, 6%, 7%, there's the potential it's going to break through some sort of level of support and I'm going to lose it. I take the stop loss on it. Okay. Better to lose $100 than to be down 1,000. And you have to learn to set your stop loss. And you have to learn also, if you're not going to be babysitting some of your trades, to set trailing stop losses where you can take profit, and then if it comes back and starts to drop down after you're in profit, you can still keep the money that you made in profit. Anyway, probably a whole nother video I need to make for you guys, and it's probably a good idea. I probably will do that, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to share with you guys what happened today. I didn't see anything in the news really today that caused the market to go one way or another. I know that certain stocks this morning were on fire, running up. Matter of fact, Webull, B-U-L-L, ran super hot to over $18. And then within a minute, it was back down to 16 something. So like, what a waste of a beautiful candle. But if you didn't snipe it at the top, then you didn't make anything because it went back to where it started. And that's just the volatility of a lot of the stocks, especially going from the pre-market hours where most of the brokerage, most of the brokers, most of the hedge funds that have, outstanding orders that were set either the night before or the morning of, that's when those hit, right? And a lot of different algorithms kick in, and there's things that happen that cause the market to fluctuate one way up or down. And that just happens. That's natural and normal. But today, the S&P 500 was part of this algorithm this morning because it kept running up and a lot of stuff was running down. And I sort of couldn't make two pennies of why it was doing that. I couldn't make sense out of why that was happening. For example, the S&P 500 hit again the all-time high of $636.15. And then it came back down, and actually the market closed at $634.42. Doesn't sound like a bad market day, right? But a lot of the stocks like SoundHound, Serve Robotics, BBAI, ABLD, all had some challenging days. Tesla, which we're going to talk about, dumped, right? Man, I knew it yesterday when they announced earnings and they bounced up 338 that I should have gone ahead, sold out of it, let it drop back down, bought back in, and put that profit away. But it held on me yesterday. It held. It went from 338, it dropped back down to about 334, and it just stayed in that range, and it didn't do anything. And then when the market closed, it started to come down. I think it closed yesterday at like $314 per share. This morning it opened up. We were figuring like, okay, let's see what happens. No. Tesla actually dropped all the way. It dumped all the way to $300.41. And then it closed at $305.65. And it was still kind of working its way up in this aftermarket and the aftermarket hours. So we'll see what it does. But, it takes a long time to get Tesla stock to move that much, a $25, $30 swing in its stock. So we'll see what happens over the next few days or few weeks. For me, it's a long term anyway. It's not like I, was wanting to sell out of it and get out to take profit. I want to see that profit in my retirement account future down the road. Boy, let me tell you guys today, and I am not a sponsor of Celsius. I am not a sponsor. I don't get paid anything to talk about Celsius. Look, you can even see I put my name on it because the refrigerator outside my office, all the folks that work for me, they share the little refrigerator area, the break room area. So I have to put my name on Celsius, especially because they tend to grow feet and walk. But it's a Celsius day right now. I needed this Celsius. And I'm in traffic again on the highway. No, I don't have any road rage issues, guys. Somebody mentioned that the other day about remembering driving around South Florida and literally having that sense of road rage. No road rage. And I will not do a video about road rage in South Florida. I'm good. But it's me, the road, which is not open because I would say the open road, and my Celsius. So Celsius, if you get to see my video, shoot me a sponsorship or something, and I'll drink one of these every video every day. Anyway, I'm not about that stuff, guys. But yes, Tesla dumped. Okay. What else happened in the market? Oh, let me tell you about APLD today. So APLD, SoundHound, and UVAS. Those were my three plays today. I got in UAVS at $1.29 a long time ago. And I watched it drop to like 60 cents, 50 cents, whatever it was. And I was like, my gosh, I just need to dump this stock and move on, take the loss on it. But I am a believer that you don't ever lose anything until you sell. So I just put it in the back burner, back of my mind, forgot about UAVS, drone company, Air Eagle, and just sort of forgot about it. Next thing I know, it's back up to $1, $1.10, $1.15, $1.25. I'm in the profit, $1.30, right? And this is happening weeks ago. And I'm like, okay, well, it's in the profit. So do I sell out of it and get out of this, what I had thought at the time, crappy stock, right? It wasn't doing anything for me. I'm like, well, I've spent this long waiting. Let me just leave it there and see what happens to it. $1.40, $1.50, $2, $2.10, right? I'm like, oh, this thing's actually moving. Do I sell it now and take profit? I was excited. Yeah, maybe I should. Nope, I'm going to leave it. Okay. Today it hit a newer high because it's not an all-time high. They've got a significant high, but it hit $3.68, $3.80. So the thought was, do I sell it today? No, I'm not going to sell it today because I even just did an entire video all about drone stocks and other companies that are within that, military, defense, AI, all relating to drones and that type of, stock. I just made the video. I just put that out there today. Go watch that video. But I'm still in UAVS and I'm going to stay in UAVS and we'll see what happens. But while I was up a considerable amount of money today, thinking like, nice, this could be a nice take profit. Now I'm back down and I'm like, ugh. And you don't really lose anything, right? Because it was all made money. And yes, it was profit. But I dropped it down. And no, you are 100% right. Some of you are saying, where's the stop loss you're talking about, Josh? Where's your stop loss? Okay. No, I don't have a stop loss on that one. And if it gets back up over that $3 range, chances are I probably will set a stop loss for this one. Because remember, you can always do that at any time. But for that one, I just, again, because it was so low, I didn't want to have a stop loss on it and lose anything. So I don't have anything set on it. But a good stock, and I think it's going to continue to run. It's going to continue to grow. What else do I want to share with you? Oh, APLD. Let's get back to APLD. So APLD today, wow. It dropped down to a low of 1080 today. Okay. Yesterday, it had a decent run. I made some good money. I think I made about $50 in it yesterday. Wasn't anything to really write home about. Today, it dropped at open, did its normal routine, 1080, got in. I don't remember exactly where I got into it. I think it was somewhere about 1090, 1092, somewhere around there. And then it ran up and it hit a level, $11.25, sold it and got out. I saw the candles. I knew that we were at a resistance level and it was going to turn, and it did. And it dropped back down to under $11. And I was really happy with it. Well, then I happen to be looking at it and I see this beautiful green engulfing candle. And I'm like, oh, that's a nice candle. And so I'm like, oh, let me check it on the 30 minute. Let me check it on the 15 minute. I look at the 5. I look at the 1. I'm like, oh, this has got a very, very good uptrend. And the market was showing good volume. And so I'm like, okay, let's jump back in, right? What could it hurt? Let's go for round 2. Jump back in round 2 and shot all the way up to 1140. Sold out of it. Got out of it. And I want to say I made $400 something on it today. I'll put that in there. I'll put that up here on the screen for you. But yeah, very good day for APLD. SoundHound, I got in and I literally ended up almost flat. So because I was flat to where my entry point was, it's a swing trade for me for tomorrow. And we'll see what it does tomorrow. But if it starts to crank down a lot in the morning, then I'm going to sell it out with a stop loss, which is set already, which doesn't work in the overnight hours or pre-market. The only stop loss works during regular hours. But when the market opens, if it starts to do this run down like APLD does every day, I'll sell out of it. And then if I want, I'll buy back in and let it run up. But pretty decent day, absolutely, for APLD. And SoundHound, we'll see what happens. Serve Robotics sort of followed SoundHound's same trend. Didn't trade it today. Google. Oh man! So in the pre-market hours of Google, Alphabet, it was almost ready to hit $200 per share, guys. It hadn't been there. It was at 191, 192, 193. It was at 198, pushing 199, and we all thought for sure that it was going to hit the $200 mark. It never did. It hit a level of resistance. It bounced off the resistance, and it dropped down to, let's see, it closed at 191. So kind of an interesting day for Alphabet, for Google. Wolf. Now, this is one I want to talk to you guys a little bit about. WULF. If you've watched some of my past videos, you know that I have day traded quite a bit. 2 stocks, WULF, Wolf, and WOLF. Okay, Wolf, two different companies. Now, WOLF filed for bankruptcy a couple months ago, and literally their stock plummeted to the pennies. Okay. And then there was talk about somebody purchasing them. They changed COOs, CEOs, they changed, their leadership, and it sort of started to come back. And they said that they were committed to work through the bankruptcy, and other companies were looking to purchase them. That didn't happen. And so they're sort of still alive in the game. They've had some nice runs. I'm not going to lie. They've had some nice runs, up into the $2 per share. And a lot of people I know are day trading WOLF. It's not as volatile. It doesn't move as fast. My concern is if I get in at $2 per share, let's say it's at $2.75 per share today, and I get in at it drops tomorrow and I get in at $2, who's to say that something doesn't happen and it literally drops down to back to zero, right? I just don't trust the company enough right now to be confident to dump $10,000, $15,000 into it in the hopes to make money in it, that it could literally rug pull on me. So I'm not day trading WOLF, but I know a lot of people that are, and they are making a lot of money in it. So take a look at it and see what you think. Chart it, support and resistance levels. They're pretty strong right now. And you guys make decisions on that. But I do want to share with you about WULF, which is an incredible company with very, very strong company. And I do often day trade that one. Matter of fact, I traded that one today, and I couldn't even tell you how much I made in it, but I saw a great entry point, great exit point, got in and out, and was focused on other things. But I love this stock. Now, here's the thing about WULF. I also have WULF in my long-term portfolio because we have a guy that's in the Discord that does a ton of analysis, a ton of technical, analysis. And he says it's at about $5.20 something cents right now per share. He says that it is literally just a matter of days before it cracks this level of resistance and it goes to the $6, $7 range. And it's in my long-term hold for that reason specifically, to see what it does and then most likely take profit on it, let it drop, get back in, and maybe let it sit and see if it does it again. But WULF, very good company, very good stock. It's on the best day trade stock list. Take a look at it. New all-time high today, guys, for Oklo, OKLO. And I know several people that love that stock and trade it, but a new all-time high for it today. Today it hit $77.16 and closed at $74.59. And man, I'm going to tell you, it was just a few weeks ago, it was in the 40s and 50s. And this thing is still running. Now, an all-time high, new time high, you have to remember, guys, you might think like, oh my gosh, this is at the all-time high, and start to have that FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. I just put a video out about that too. Go check that one out. But if it's at an all-time high, brand new all-time high, there's no ceiling. There's no resistance level. The sky is the limit on the stock. Now, if it drops back down and starts to go back up, well, now you're creating a new resistance level. So now you have to pay attention to that resistance level, because if it goes all the way to $77 and it drops down to 73 and it goes back to 77 and it drops down to 75 and it goes back to 77 and it keeps getting rejected now at 77, that's a new level of resistance. You have to pay attention. And it's easy. Draw your line, because now you know what the top level resistance is for Oklo. Okay? But if it doesn't and it keeps going and it just sort of settles there, then there's a chance that it could continue to go. And I don't know that for a fact, but like I said, it did close at 74.59. So you got to kind of take a look and see what it does as it goes back up towards that 77.16 range. Anyway, guys, there were a ton of stocks today that had some really great positive momentum. Go through them, in your watch list if you have one set up, or take the list that I gave you guys and look through them and just see what the pattern was. And the ones that had a heavy down day today, it's almost like that's what you call buy the dip, right? So the ones that had a good drop are the ones I look at to see how they do in the post market, in the pre market, and what do they do in the morning at the open. And I typically won't get into those stocks at the opening bell. I'll give it that 10, 15, 30 minutes to see what it does. I know a lot of people love to trade on this 10 a.m. rule. Don't do anything before 10 a.m. Sometimes I do that. A lot of times I don't, because I know the trend and I know what it's going to do. I know specifically every day APLD is going to drop. It's just the level. Where does it get to? Where's that level of resistance and support? And then where's the turn going to be? And I'm watching my candlesticks to understand all that. So, chart your stocks out on your account, even if you're not in them, just to see where is support and resistance levels. And it's great practice for new traders, for new retail day traders, to understand those levels. And listen, it's not a perfect science. You don't have to be perfect. You just need to see that level of support and resistance has 3 points, that it hit it 3 times, and you can go across. And then when you do have those 3 points, there's a saying, look left. Go to the 4 hour. Go to the 1 hour. Okay? Go to the daily and look where that support line hits and how many other points it hits. And maybe you'll find a good new level of resistance that you can trade until it hits that level of resistance. Anyway, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for jumping in another video. Listen, if you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? I'm just kidding. Hit the subscription button. I notice there's a lot of you that are in here that are watching the videos. I hope you're enjoying the content. You return for the videos, but you haven't subscribed yet. Hit that subscribe button, all right? Become part of this community. And you can control whether you get new videos from me or not, but I ask you to hit the notification bell so that you will be updated, and notified every time I post a new video. And then, hey, hit the like button for me, please. YouTube loves to see that people like the videos, and it helps their algorithms as well. And we want to continue to push out a lot of good content and help people that may just be starting out or may not be super experts, that are average Joes, that are just looking to learn a little bit something more to get better at their trading. So hit that like button for me. And last but not least, guys, hit the comments. I love responding to the comments. I try to respond to every single one. I'm doing the best I can with keeping up with those. If I didn't respond to one, I missed it. Hit me again. If you have a specific question about anything, a stock, a company, something you want me to look at, something you want me to create a video for, hit it in the comments. Okay? Drop a comment for me and let me know. And I'll be happy to take a look at that. And most likely we'll make some videos based on what you guys are asking for, because I want to make content that you want, not the content that I want. All right, guys, have a good night. Looking forward to seeing what the market does up to 8 p.m. through the post market. And I'll be ready to see the 4 a.m. and what does the market do, and create another update for you. Have a good night, everybody. Josh out. Peace.